Pass na Boomering. Ang daming monitoring apps, been here before. Unang AM was great, second one is off. Negative 10 out of 10 na. Bow. Hi everyone, I'm Erlene Aquino and I'm the Chief People Officer here at Boomering. This is for Sure Thing with Boomering. So this question is from Just Practicing Morgan. The question is, what's the difference between being in human resources and being a Chief People Officer? Is there actually a difference or is it just a different title? I would say there's no difference between the two because it's about being in human resources. The thing is, human resources talks about the work environment that you're in, and being a Chief People Officer, it's the job that you do, it's the job that you perform for the work environment, which is the human resources. Okay, on to the next question. So this one is from Team Spaceman. How often are you more likely to work in favor of the company's interest over the employee? So what balance do we do here in Boomering? I would say I do not work favoring anybody. Being in HR means you are the bridge between the company and the employee. So it's always maintaining that balance and being in the middle and always going to work for the win-win situation. Okay, on to the next. It's from you, Blooming Onion. Some people think offshoring exploits workers while others say it creates opportunities. Is offshoring actually an ethical business practice? Well, having been worked with different industries, I have worked with manufacturing, I have worked with offshoring, retailing, and services. I would say there's no difference when it comes to all of those work that I have mentioned. I do believe that offshoring provides different platforms for all those people who would want to pour out their efforts and work with other people to showcase their talent. So I don't think it's an ethical business. It actually promotes the talent that we have here, most particularly here in the Philippines. Next one, it's from Since 2001. In your perspective, how should employees ask for a raise if they feel underpaid? Okay, so actually this is one of the controversial questions that we usually answer in HR. There are different kinds of employees. There are those who believe that they need to fight for their rights, and there are others who think that they just have to wait for them to be appraised and be given of the reward that they think of. Either of the two employees, I don't have anything against them. Actually, it will always boil down to the policy of the company. And it's also about setting the expectation right when it comes to performance appraisal and salary adjustment. As long as the employee, the client, and the company are aligned with that process, I think everybody will have a voice to talk about their expectations with salary adjustments. Next one is from you, Dirt Question. What's the most common thing people get fired for? Actually, this is the most scenario when we terminate people. It's not really the lack of skills because I believe we will not be hiring someone if they are not capable of that job, right? It's mostly the attitude and when they lose their compassion with what they do. When you start to lose the compassion or the fire that you had when you started applying for that job, then I think that's the end of the line for you and you lose everything and everything goes wrong because you don't pour the efforts that you have poured when you started doing your job. So mostly, just to answer this question, people gets fired because of the wrong attitude that they have. It's not the lack of skills.
When do you think we rarely experience that?
It's because people in here are very devoted with what they do, and I can see that people, they really pour their hearts into what they do. They believe that whatever win they can give Boomering, it's also a win for themselves. So I think that's how everybody sees here in Boomering. Okay, the next question is from UDIP Investigator 283. Is a performance improvement plan basically the first step toward getting fired, or is it genuinely meant to help someone improve? Okay, this is a tricky question, but to answer that, PIP from the term itself, it's performance improvement plan. Supposedly, the real purpose of this one is to help the person go back to the path where he or she started when you applied for the job. Now, when you start to lose your path with what you are doing, the purpose of performance improvement plan is to bring you back to that path, to bring back the goals, the numbers, the thing that you have started, when you were doing your job from the start. Supposedly, it's not meant to fire anyone, but to help them go back, realign the path that they had when they were starting. Okay, next question is from Ralph Zuckerman. What is your opinion on switching careers in your 40s, and what is the most reasonable way to do it? Okay, people do have different phases in their lives, okay? I don't think there's a specific age when you get to finally realize what you want to do and where you want to do it. So regardless if you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, if you don't find your passion in what you do, this is the best time for you to shift your career, because at the end of the day, you don't want to regret looking back, not trying anything that would make you happy.
Do you have any personal experience?
Well, to start with, I'm a registered nurse by profession. I did not intend to become a human resource practitioner from the start, but when I tried doing the job of being an HR practitioner, that's the time I realized, being an HR practitioner is also it's like being a nurse. Because if you're a nurse, you take care of sick people. But if you are an HR practitioner, you just don't take care of sick people physically, but those people who are in need of your help to be aligned with the company and with the client. So I've experienced that, and I thought, this is where I belong. That's why I made the career shift. Next question is from UOP_Ra. After someone gets hired, how do you take care of them when it comes to benefits, legal compliance, and overall well-being? Okay, here in Boomering, this is what I personally experienced, and I believe most people here in Boomering would agree with me. During the time that I was applying here in Boomering, I felt the connection immediately because TA team took really good care of me. They really made me feel that it's not just a usual interview, but they are offering me something that's gonna be a life changer when it comes to my career. Okay, so from that experience, I really thought that this is where I wanna be. I wanna be in Boomering. After I started, it made me realize more that I made the right choice. I would say as an employee, my number one benefit here in Boomering is having the perks to talk to my bosses face to face. They're not so far away that I know them personally. We can joke with them. I can talk to them. So it really makes a big difference when you can talk to your boss. It's not just online. And I have my HMO, in which it makes me feel that I'm secured, my health is being taken care of when it's needed. I have birthday leaves that I can spend with my family, I have lots of VLs, I have my sick leave, so if I get sick, I know that the company will allow me to go off days because I have those benefits. But the most thing that I would say, the greatest benefit that I have here in Boomering is I have found my family away from home. The colleagues in here, the co-workers, they are easy to get along with. Every time I see their smile in their faces, it lightens up my day. So what perks can I ask for more, right? Next is from Shaquille Oatmeal. What's your thoughts on learning and development as part of HR? What are the mid to high positions I can get once I enter this career path in HR? Well, again, basing it on my personal experience, being HR is a never-ending learning platform. When you are in HR, you start from the very basic, but since HR has lots of facets, one of it is learning and development. You get to involve yourself to evolve, be updated with everything that's happening. And one of the easiest task, I would say, and full of fun tasks that we can have in HR would be learning and development, because in here you get to train, you get to meet other people inside and outside the company, you get to meet people in other industries, the same industries, so it's never ending. You will never stop learning. You will have a lot on your plate, so it's a wonderful experience that I can share with you. From Prod Month, ba't din ninyo dinidisclose yung salary upfront? Para maiwasan natin yung pagsasayang ng oras. Hindi natin dinidisclose yung salary, it's because unang-una kailangan nating i-check if align ito doon sa posisyon and doon sa qualification na meron yung aplikante. At hindi rin natin siya dinidisclose, it's because we don't want to preempt kung ano man yung pwedeng maging offer based doon sa agreed rate ng kliyente at saka ng empleyado. Okay, from you, Attention Royal 2276. What is the most petty complaint that someone has ever come to you with? Yung hindi siya pinansin ng coworker niya. Sabi ko naman, baka wala lang sa mood yung coworker niya. So, maybe for me it's petty, but baka para sa kanya, hindi, because he or she cares about all the people that she works with. So, yun lang. That's just based on my own opinion. I may be wrong, I may be right, but for me, that's how I recall it. Next is from SafeAd9324. Kapag ba na bad record ka sa isang company, totoo bang may HR group na makikita rin yon ng ibang employers? I would say, yes, pwedeng yung iba, oo, but not all. Because meron rin naman kasing mga ibang employers that they give chances to those people that they believe na merong capability, merong skills, and everybody naman is entitled to second chances or third or fourth chances, and I do believe on that. But just to answer these questions, merong ibang HR that they get to know that, but meron ding iba na they don't. Okay, this one is from you. The coconut is a giant nut. As someone in the HR industry as well, may openings ba sa inyo? Haha, marami. So come and join us here in Boomering and you'll personally experience what I was talking about from the start of this interview. Just like what I was telling you, for you to be able to experience what was I talking about, please feel free to click the link below or visit our careers page so that you'll see every careers that may be the next one for you. Okay, from Ren Carpin, another question. I think you've probably heard the phenomenon that people quit managers, not jobs, which is when employees quit a job not because they dislike the work or pay, but rather because they don't feel respected by their manager or boss, or they feel that the workflow is inefficient under their leadership. So my question is, how do you bring up this conversation with the manager or boss? How do leadership often react to this kind of feedback, and what are concrete solutions that you feel have worked in the past, or what did not work in the past? Okay, so to answer that question, personally, I do believe in that, because the moment you work, you know that the job will be challenging. That's already a given scenario. But the job will be complicated, much more complicated, if you don't get along with your boss, and if you get a boss who's not supportive and who does not give you the support that you need. So how do I open it up? Basically, it's difficult, but I really tell them that as my boss, I look up to them. So I believe if there's something that's bugging me and I believe there's something to talk about, we just have to be open with them, because sometimes they are humans too, you know. Sometimes they are not aware that they are doing things that really hurt people under them. So it's a matter of having a good communication with your boss. One of the comment is from No Independence 2621. pass na Boomering. Ang daming monitoring apps, been here before. Unang AM was great, second one is off. Negative 10 out of 10 na. Wow. Oh. Okay. I would say maybe that's how he or she felt. I'm not saying totally that she's wrong, but what I would say is that we are learning from this comment, and for the monitoring apps, I believe it's a matter of, again, setting the right expectation. So was it explained to the employee what's the purpose of the monitoring app and how do we do it and what's the reason behind we require monitoring apps? So just to give a quick answer on that, monitoring apps are required just to prove to the client that we're really giving our best, we're putting much efforts in what to do. And I believe as an employee, would I agree to have a monitoring app on me? The answer is, why not? If I'm confident enough that I'm doing my job, I use my time correctly, I exert the effort that's needed, so I don't think I have to worry with those monitoring apps. But about the AM, I will take into note about the second one. I really don't know what's the off thing in there, but this is really something that we need to discuss. Next one is from Signal Quarter 7779. I was with Boomering before. Okay naman kaso yung HMO di pwede senior parents. Well, to answer that, I do understand most of us, of course, kung kailan senior na yung parents natin, that's the time that they really need the HMO, no? But unfortunately, it's not a policy of Boomering. It's a general policy of HMO providers that we cannot bend. It's really a requirement that we need to follow. I don't say it's unfortunate, but you know, in everything that we do, there are rules and policies that covers it. So, okay, so we have come to the conclusion of this short thing with Boomering. It was fun. It's mind-boggling. It's exciting. You don't know what's gonna be the question that will be asked on you. But I really want to thank everyone who's stayed and took the time to watch this episode, and I'm happy to share all of those experiences that I had. They are genuinely coming from me, from my heart. Those are my personal experiences, so thank you very much, and I appreciate you taking the time and staying to watch this episode. So with that, I really want to take this time and opportunity to invite everyone. Don't forget to click subscribe and visit our website for simple and smart offshoring. Thank you for doing the short thing with Boomering.